Week. We made it through. It's 11:18 EST. It's time for Mike and me. Can you hear me loud and clear, Mike?
I can, Coach. Good afternoon. How are you?
All right, TGIF, buddy. What a week. And I just want to make a quick update that yesterday on my video, I said sell the dollar pop um, back up towards 104.80 to 105. It got to 80. It sold off to 40. So it's not that we can't get another run next week up to 105, but long-term bearish dollar. Metals are exploding. Yields are rebounding a little bit, but I think you still have to buy breaks in bonds. I think yields are heading lower, dollars heading lower. Everything's going up, Mike. When yields go down and the dollar is being hit, it's tough to be short anything.
It's
Okay.
FOMO. It's
Yeah,
fear of underperforming, not
and
fear
it,
of missing out now.
and it's also some of the weakening signs in the economy may not be great for the economy, but the stock market is not the economy. Okay. It's been financialized. And so as the economy weakens and yields go lower and the dollar sells off, that's jet fuel for the market. It may not be great for the economy, but that's what's happening here. And that's how you get melt ups like, some of our guests that we're talking about, 6,000 S&Ps, Dave, 7,000 S&Ps, because now you really have the booster rockets are on the market now. But, I want to talk about something I've learned from you and something that people are missing if they're not paying attention. And it's these option sweeps and what you see in the options market. Because in the last 6 months or so, Mike, here are all the turns that you're noticing the option sweeps and what the wise guys are doing. That when they go out 3, 4 months, this is when they first started buying the financials, and you had a pop. Now they're usually early when they buy time. That's why they're buying time.
Hence our Citicorp debate at the time.
Yeah, right. City, same thing down there. And look at that turn they called. Okay, so there's one. All right, now let's talk about the miners. And calls were lighting up prior to the low. And then they really came in after the low. But the miners, Mike, made us aware before the miners took off that they were buying calls. One was in the wrong stock. They had a bad earnings report. But for the most part, that was back in February they started.
Ouch.
Okay, right here. And they were a little early. So there's two turns. Okay, now you guys know I was an Apple bear all last year. All last year. I never got paid big because we never broke down under 160, but there were a few swings that worked. They were buying calls here. So I covered my shorts this day
I remember that.
before it exploded. Then I thought I missed it, but they were still buying Apple calls. And this is when people got pretty bearish,
That's
myself
what you,
included.
that,
I
I'm
thought
sorry.
I missed it. And look at what happened. It saved my butt paying attention to the option, uh, the option flow and those big sweeps. And then I'll wrap it with this. TLT. Mike is pounding the table saying, Dale, they're selling puts. Now it's down here,
I asked
late
for your
April.
opinion.
Late April, he goes, I've never seen it. They're selling puts. And that's when they were selling puts while TLT was declining. Okay. Not be after a rally, they're selling it while they're getting more expensive and the market's declining. Look at all that premium they captured. And was that another tell for at least a temporary low in TLT? And then it started showing up on the active lists. So I rest my case. You have to be in the room. We don't email this stuff out. Mike may talk about it on his streams, but every day he's posting this stuff, taking calls, taking puts, taking calls, taking puts. Mike, thanks for that great work that you do. And I really think that if you're missing things in the market, it's because you're missing these sweeps.
Couple
These
of
guys are good traders. They know what they're doing.
like a couple of things. Great segue, coach, into the basic macro view of what's going on, no matter what level you're at with the segue. Couple of things here. Sometimes I make an analogy in TradeGATEHub is we'll get to more active things in a minute, but it is a Friday and you can always go back to our YouTube channel and watch our 2 videos or several videos that we do a day. With that being said I reference TGH to maybe a medical school, everybody going into a general practitioner and narrowing down and get to this style, whether you want to be a cardiologist, a dentist, podiatrist, or maybe even go into a restaurant. Now, in a restaurant, you could have a lot of things to cook or eat with. It's very simple in TradeGATEHub. It's, by the way, these calls that I come up with, they're not some proprietary algorithm that I want everybody to believe. I'm taking it from the general public. But I have a couple of things where I condense it into quality instead of quantity. I mean, nobody wants to be, following, Bank of America might go off 14, 15 times a day, but might have a 10-cent range and be irrelevant, especially with these zero daily trading options.
Yeah.
So, it's the fork of what we do here. Obviously, the spoon is a good trend and volume. The knife may be I don't know what it may be, coach.
Price action.
Yeah, it's price action and volume. So it's the 3 to 4 things. I used to have 10 screens, and my mom walked in one day and she says, "You're going to try to take over the world one day." I said, "No, I don't want the responsibility." So I narrowed down to 3. Less is better. I get it. I don't have an ego. I know what I do. Some of the best doctor's office I ever walked in. Basically, the guy has a chair and a freaking glass. You know what I mean? And he'll figure everything out. The guy that's got the pasting of all the stuff, the diagrams, he's probably got to look at it to remember what the hell's going on. So with that being said is that you have, we bring in things of, 20, 50, 60 years of trading experience, option flow, volume, price action. I'm not here to split the atom. I don't have a better style. I might do it better than others. We're here to teach you and eventually, develop your style. I don't get the hell out of here. A fly. That's about it, coach.
All right. Anyway, I just wanted, and they're real-time examples, and they're on the videos. Anyway,
it's my job. It's my job to post in the room. I get compensated to type in the room. It's my responsibility.
Yeah. So anyway, Mike, I really think that I used to only hear about it, the Nigerians, and a lot of guys followed, sweeps, and they talk about it on CNBC on options action when big size came in. They know. I used to think of them as more like the house, that most guys would write options because most people buy them retail, and a lot of them, most of them expire worthless. So
first of all, coach, a couple of things have changed there. Obviously, you can have the options that are traded on a daily basis, but a lot of these stocks are expensive. They'd rather go to trade call. They'd rather trade call. Maybe trade a little bit less leverage and trade some calls. Apple's what? You look at Google. I mean, they weren't. IBM's 200.
Yeah.
You want to get into CCJ. Even CCJ is almost 70. That's not cheap. I mean, a lot of people.
That's a great point.
I have the blessing, if you will, of I'm not going to say I'm going to buy 100,000 CCJ. If I wanted to, I'm sure I could ask. But 10,000 CCJ takes up $1 million of buying. It's okay. But a lot of people don't have that to work with. Then there's margin interest, all that other stuff. So, options are, by the way, they're just like news is. The nobody's like scared of the option market anymore. It was like a secret society, like you used to think, and I did too. Now, just like stocks, everything's public. They're liquid as they come, and you can't be scared of them. It's a tool that you have to have. If you don't trade or know about options, especially on the TradeView platform, you're going to a gunfight with a knife. That's just it.
All right. Great. So what are you seeing today, Mike? Wrapping up the weekend. I also want to, I know that you probably saw Walmart was backed up they were taking calls prior to earnings, right?
Yes.
That was a big trade. Why
But
don't you
you know
take
what, Coach?
over?
This is what you want to see. You know, we can go back to that Citicorp play. When things are strong, here we are. You know, the option sweeps that I see, a couple, you know, they articulate it correctly. Like a couple of guys that have a wise guy sweep. That could be me buying 20,000 calls of, I don't know, of DNUT here or something. I could do a 20,000 call sweep. I'm not going to lie. Doesn't make me say that I'm the best of the worst, but I could do that. It doesn't really put that much credence in it. But when stocks are sitting there and Walmart's acting, the price action's acting well, and it's taking the calls as the market's getting weaker and they're buying calls properly. It's not like just like they're chasing these, you know, the low floaters up and adding to these exacerbated moves because the market makers have to cover furiously. It's a different type of game. It's almost like a fast food restaurant as opposed to a fine food restaurant. The games are all about out there, and it's fine to eat at both, but you got to know what you're paying for. You don't pay for, you know, fine food at a taco stand. I may have gone off a tangent, but that's where we leave off with options.
You're making me hungry. Anyway, so going into the weekend, what do you think? What are you doing?
What am I doing?
You're kind of like book squaring today.
I look at the Hood. Wanted to talk about the calls taking this Hood.
Yeah.
Calls. I posted in TGH. I said, you know what? Give me a second. I'll keep posting until I get back to TradeGATEHub. Hood taking a lot of calls.
Okay.
How
Looks
about
good.
this one?
They really turned that from a few days ago.
How about this?
CCJ. I know. I was looking at it as
go
going,
to our Tuesday video, hence on the YouTube channel. I said, Coach, they're taking calls right here. Every time they verbatim. Every time they take the calls, I said, Coach, why am I not? I said it on air. Why am I not doing it here?
Commodities, Mike. Commodities. Uranium, natural gas.
Or how about Coach?
Metals.
Not only will we early on silver, but I think it was Monday. Please go back to YouTube. I didn't. I'm posting less and less, but more quality. Silver, pages of silver. Coach, come on.
Of calls. Yeah.
I said it right here.
Yeah.
Pages of it was SILV actually, to be specific.
Yeah.
Pages. I didn't make it up. I'm always mixed. It's not like I'm biased. I'm not pushing it. I always have long and shorts. It's not like I don't push things. I don't even have the pull to push things anyway, so it doesn't even matter.
That's a double. Yeah.
What else is hard? ASTS came in long this.
Wow.
How could I not be long this? Broke above the gap. Huge news. Good volume.
When did you buy it? On the opening?
No, I had it from last night. I was selling it. I had it from last night.
Okay.
I took it overnight.
Okay, so you bought the good earnings report.
It actually had news from a deal with AT&T.
Okay. So
what else are we buying here? How about Newmont?
Go ahead.
Taking the call still. It's not making the move I thought it would.
Yeah.
But it's still taking
of the group, it's kind of starting to dog it a little bit.
I got you. You're right. Well put. And the one that started it all off is this. AM.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was where Citicorp was. The Citicorp right here.
Yeah.
And then
these markets smelled the top in yields way before anyone else did. Because that's part of it. And before the dollar really turned, and now the dollar turned. So, it's almost like, they're lighting different firecrackers off every month. This is the most bullish environment for commodities I've seen since the 70s. That's a long time.
They're taking stocks, Coach, they're taking these small ones up now. Tupperware is bankrupt. It's up like 80% today. How about a stock like SE? Oh, another stock that I'm accumulating a lot. SE, another one. Beautiful chart, this SE. And that was the one taking calls all along. I'm in a lot of China stocks. I'm in YMM.
You were hip to China, and that too was sweeps.
Yeah.
There's the lows.
And you know what I'm in? I hope it's over 4 VIPs. I'm in a lot of this thing. Now, what about VIPs? How could you not buy VIPs here, China stock?
Yeah.
17, where is it? 60? Yeah. Look at this China stock. I have a lot of it. I think I have 30,000. I'm up in it. I'm up 22,000. I have 21,000 from 17. VIPs. Go and buy more. I don't want to micromanage that. Another one I'm in is BZ, the China stock.
Yeah.
Why not? How about
You know,
JD?
everything bottomed around the same time early
Baba.
this year.
Baba bottom. This was the
Yeah,
news on Baba right here. Earnings. See that
yeah,
brick bar?
yeah,
This bar right here? That was earnings.
yeah,
The next day it reversed over the
yeah.
200 day backed, and that was it. I'm not in it. I'm not in it. But they did calls were flying.
Okay.
But that was the key, right? That was the confirmation. This was fact, Baba. Earnings day.
And they were
JD.
buying call. They were buying calls that day
Yeah, they're
while
still
it was
buying them.
lower.
I'll go right
Yeah.
here. They're still buying them. And this is with PDD. You want to talk
Let me
about
ask you
this?
this: Is there
This is
anything
the one
going
that hits
down?
200 next.
Is
PDD.
there anything going down?
Yeah, GME, GameStop.
Oh well, yeah, they're diluting again. These stocks that are, it's a good name for them. Game. It's a
I'm in
game.
some. I bought some. I'm not gonna.
Okay, so
I
I
don't want
mean,
to
you
look
can
where
make
it.
money trading it, but as a rule, stocks that dilute are a little different than stocks that do buybacks. So every time stocks like these have a rally, they go to their printing press, and that's their stock. That's their shares. It's like the Fed. They print money, they put out more stock, public buys their money. But a stock like Apple, they're not doing that. They're buying back their own shares with billions of dollars. There's a difference.
Hold
One's
on.
a game, one's a
Right.
company. All right? There is a difference.
Point.
That's
This was yesterday, right before the close, Coach.
yeah,
Uh, position in VIPs. I had 18,000 from 17. As you know, right now it's 1770 or whatever.
yeah.
And I said, but now I have what, 32 or whatever it is. And I said, we'll get a lot more. Look at F. I posted this was a day ago. FUTU. I don't post much anymore. Let's go to this one.
People couldn't keep up with everything you do anyway, Mike. I mean, I'm a pro and sometimes I do. So
FUTU.
I mean, I do believe less is more.
What's I did? You know what? I'm missing a lot because the VIX is so low that
Yeah,
I'm just building positions. If
yeah.
it wasn't like this, I would be more content. I would have less positions and maybe a higher count. But now I have a board, and that's not good. That's complacency. It's not
Yeah,
my
well,
style.
we have a melt up going on. I know some guys that are thinking a high sometime in June, S&P 54, 5,500. So and a smart guy I saw on CNBC said, back under 5150. But if you look at weekly charts, a lot of these indices are not, although they're making new highs, they're not confirming the highs.
Well, this is
But
everybody picks their style, Dale. Coach,
yeah,
I'm getting
yeah.
serious again because. But I can look. Listen, Coach. I can give you 100 reasons why the market's bearish and 100 reasons why it's bullish, and probably make compelling basis. But you know what I mean.
I
But
don't see a reason to, all the momentum here on, 4-hour charts and stuff like that. It's too much mo.
this says it, Coach. The 50. I mean, I've been doing this for almost 30 years. The 50 days a big situation, as you know. I believe
Yeah,
in it. It's
yeah,
not the Bible. It's one of my tools that I formulate. As of yesterday's close, this was what, Wednesday.
yeah.
All 11 of the sectors were back above their 50-day. That means buy on pullbacks. At least 50-day is basic. Oh, it's not the 200-day. I mean, it's not like the 10-day when everything. I mean, 10-day would be everything would be off the board. But the 50, that, you know what?
Yeah,
Maybe the sectors will rotate, but there are bases in a lot of places.
yeah,
Whoa, I just made
yeah.
that up.
I tell you what, you've been in the zone, Mike. You even said yesterday when you're trading, you're just in the zone, and I did the broadcast. So you always stay in the zone when you're there. I can talk.
I want
So
to ask, Coach, can I ask you one question and leave with
yeah,
whether on or off the air? And I actually had to look this up too. I didn't have to look it up, but it was something that Helene posted, and it had to do about the trend. Are you familiar with the trend?
not really.
Okay, I
I
didn't.
know it. Yeah,
Look at
I know a lot of people pay attention to that. What was her point? That it's so
Nasdaq.
low?
This was yesterday.
Yeah,
Nasdaq's trend was
yeah,
16.16. In 30 years, we've seen this 5 other times. There's the trend.
right.
So, like again, I'm not looking to get spooked, but I once again, Helene, by the way, that one of the still has a
Yeah,
resume.
Yeah,
There are all-time highs of volatilities. We tend to get these sort of extremes during periods. The VIX is 12. Everybody's got to put money to work, coach. If you can't, like, if you don't put money to work when there's less than volatility, you can get
yeah,
fired.
yeah, I know.
So they're waiting to
Anyway,
buy dips. I don't think anybody's waiting to short up here. I don't. I know that the top 100 fund managers are not. None of one of them are short buyers. So
yeah.
they're all looking to buy. I don't know what is.
It's like I said on my video, you know what is going to give me a tell that the market's getting tired is when you have a day when yields are down, the dollar is down, and the market's not making hay. And not just one day. I'm talking about a period of time when rates are still falling, the dollar's still falling, and the market is heavy. Okay. That's what I'd be looking for. Because that means that the tailwind, which we have going on right now with lower yields and a weaker dollar, aren't helping fly the plane anymore. So there's something else going on. There's a loss of mo.
It's
That's
just
what I'm waiting for.
it's
If
just the transfer of wealth. All these people, these stocks are coming back with getting dividends. There's so much cash.
Yeah,
It's like you said, the financial market's a completely different institution. I
then
just
the economy.
Coach, we even something like this has not happened in 5 years. No, this is a normal Friday afternoon. It's not
Yeah,
even like a catalyst.
yeah. There wasn't even any major news like we had this
We
week.
saw administration changes, terrorist attacks. Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
obviously it comes down to money or interest rates,
yeah,
but
yeah.
until then, whatever shock value will be there. We'll be shocked, but until then, I don't know what is it going to take.
It's going to take trends reversing in the dollar and yields, or just people finally the economic weakness catches up with earnings. That's it. Or you know what? Like Dave Hunter says, it's just it just ends. Just like things just begin. Everyone wants to find the reason. What's going to be the reason? There won't be a reason. No one's going to ring a bell. You'll
No,
just have to see by one of your things, price action and volume will tell you, right? And you'll probably start seeing sweeps that aren't calls. Okay. So we'll know. We don't have to, predict what the reason's going to be. We'll just see it.
that's really, you know what? That's, I get it.
I know you do.
I kind of wish I could say that. I wish I articulated that. It's really, but
We'll just see it.
yeah.
We don't have
Uh,
to predict it.
and this is also mega cap volatility. Look, load in. It's all good.
Yeah.
Google sweeps off the board still. Google sweeps. It's
Yeah.
still,
Yeah.
okay.
Just a good weekend to pop the champagne cork and watch TradeGATEHub sponsor a boxing match in Tijuana
Yep, we'll
on
post it.
YouTube.
We're going to post it.
On YouTube, you could watch it live. And it's one of our employees is one of
The
TradeView's.
promoters, a
Yeah,
high level executive at
yeah.
at TradeView Markets.
What is he a lightweight, middleweight? Do you know?
Coach, I'm 5'5". Everybody's a heavyweight.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I'd rather
I'm
have
actually
be
5'7". I lie.
be a friend than an adversary because a guy you know, with hands like that doesn't matter how tall you are.
We'll show them.
Anyway,
Come on.
why don't we wrap it?
You wrap it up, Coach. You're better at that. You're more articulate.
All right. You know what? Everyone who's watching this or watches it later, you know what I want you to think about? How fortunate you are
That you're not going to
that
get
you
beat up
can,
by this lunatic in about 5 hours.
yeah, and that you're playing the game,
Yes.
that you can play the game. You can afford to play the game. Okay.
Well, you need a
Win,
chip
lose,
in.
or
What is it?
draw,
You need
you're
a chip in
you're
a
in
chair.
it, you're doing it, and it's not because you have to make a choice between um, trading Google or buying medicine. Okay. And appreciate that.
Coach, why don't you
And
lead off with your
appreciate the
final?
people you work with. What?
How about your final Friday cliche? Because this market's getting a
Uh,
little crazy. I think some
all
people
right.
appreciate
Okay.
it.
So don't just count your pips, count your blessings. That's what I was talking about. And the difference between pros and amateurs are pros know how to lose. so they have money left to be right with. And have a great weekend, everybody. Have a good
Cheers,
weekend,
everyone.
Mike.
Thanks for tuning in, TGH. Got a lot of things going on. Big TradeGate TradeView Market Expo in Colombia. We got the fighter down in Tijuana, coaches in San Diego. I'm in New York City. The office is in New York City. We got a Dubai Expo. You can find that all out at the TradeGate, TradeView Markets, social media accounts all across the board. It's fun. It's actually a lot of fun things they're doing. Tomorrow's the Preakness Stakes, the second leg of the Triple Crown. We're
Who do you
fast
like?
and furious. So just like TradeGATEHub, market, this action never stops here, whether it's during the market or after the market. We don't
You
stop.
know what? The Knicks are warriors, man. With all these injuries, they are tough.
Better.
They're tough.
Yeah, they got to get past the Celtics. The Celtics have a lot of rest and everything.
Yeah,
but.
yeah, they'll beat them. I'm a Knicks fan this year. All right. Anyway, take it easy, bro. I'll see you after Memorial Day.
You too, Coach. Cheers. Thanks, Alexis.
Right.
Hope you're feeling better.
Bye-bye.
Coach, keep in touch.
All right, bro.